Plato did not begin as a philosopher. He began as a witness. When Socrates drank the hemlock in 399 BCE, Athens believed it had silenced a dangerous man, a man who asked too many questions, a man who unsettled the powerful, a man who refused to flatter ignorance. But ideas do not die with their speakers. Among the small group of students who watched their teacher die was a young Athenian aristocrat named Plato. He would never forget what he saw. A just man condemned by an unjust city, a thinker destroyed by the very democracy that claimed to value reason. That moment did more than shape Plato's life. It reshaped the future of philosophy itself. If Socrates taught the world how to ask questions, Plato would build the world in which those questions could live forever. Plato was born around 428 BCE into wealth, status, and political power. His real name was likely Aristocles. The name Plato, meaning broad, may have referred to his physical build, or perhaps the breadth of his thinking. His family was deeply connected to Athenian politics. Some of his relatives were linked to the oligarchic 30 tyrants, men who briefly seized power in Athens through violence and fear. From birth, Plato stood close to power and close to its corruption. He was trained in poetry, athletics, mathematics, and politics. Everything in his upbringing pointed toward a future in public office. Plato was meant to rule. Then he met Socrates. Socrates did not lecture. He questioned. He dismantled assumptions. He forced men to confront how little they truly knew. He walked the streets of Athens, turning certainty into doubt and pride into silence. Plato became one of his closest followers. Later, he would call Socrates the wisest and most just man of his time. When Athens put Socrates on trial, the charges sounded noble: corrupting the youth, disrespecting the gods, threatening social order. But Plato understood the truth. Socrates was executed not for crimes, but for thinking publicly. The city offered Socrates a chance to escape. He refused. He chose death over abandoning the law, even when the law had failed him. Plato watched his teacher die, calm, unafraid, principled to the end. From that day forward, Plato lost faith in Athenian democracy as it existed, not because he despised people, but because he feared ignorance when given authority. One question haunted him from that moment on: how can a society kill its wisest man and still call itself just? After Socrates' death, Plato left Athens. The city had become unbearable. He traveled widely across the ancient world, to Egypt, to southern Italy, to Sicily. Along the way, he encountered Pythagorean mathematics, mystical ideas of harmony and order, and alternative political systems very different from Athens. These journeys transformed him. Plato was no longer merely a student preserving Socrates' memory. He was becoming something else entirely: a system builder, a philosopher determined to explain not just how people think, but what reality itself truly is. In Sicily, Plato even attempted to advise rulers, hoping to turn philosophy into political reform. The experiment nearly cost him his life. Power did not want wisdom. It wanted obedience. From this failure, Plato learned a painful lesson. Knowledge without virtue is dangerous, and power without wisdom is catastrophic. When Plato finally returned to Athens, he did so with a clear purpose. Around 387 BCE, he founded the Academy. This was not a school in the modern sense. It was the first organized center of higher learning in Western history, a community devoted to disciplined inquiry. Philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, ethics, and politics were studied side by side. Tradition claims that above the entrance were the words, "Let no one ignorant of geometry enter." For Plato, mathematics trained the mind to grasp eternal truths, truths untouched by opinion or emotion. The Academy would endure for nearly 900 years. Among its students was a young man named Aristotle.
Unlike Socrates, Plato wrote extensively, but he did not write textbooks or doctrines. He wrote dialogues. In these dialogues, philosophy unfolds as conversation. Questions lead to answers. Answers collapse into deeper questions, and truth emerges through struggle rather than declaration. Socrates appears again and again as the central voice, questioning assumptions and exposing contradictions. Through writing, Plato rescued Socrates from history's silence. Works like the Apology, Crito, Phaedo, Symposium, and Republic did more than preserve a man. They preserved a method, a way of thinking that refused easy certainty. At the heart of Plato's philosophy lies a radical and unsettling claim. The world we see is not the real world. According to Plato, reality exists on two levels. The visible world, the world of bodies, objects, and change, is unstable and imperfect. Everything in it is born, decays, and dies. Beyond it exists another realm, the world of forms. This realm contains perfect, eternal, unchanging ideas. Every physical thing we encounter is only an imperfect copy of its form. Every chair points toward the perfect form of chair. Every just act points toward the form of justice. Every beautiful thing reflects the form of beauty. Above all stands the form of the good, the source of truth, meaning, and value itself. For Plato, knowledge gained through the senses is unreliable. True knowledge belongs to the intellect. What we see deceives us. What we understand endures. To explain this vision, Plato offered one of the most powerful metaphors ever written. Imagine people chained inside a cave since birth. They face a wall. Behind them, a fire casts shadows of passing objects. The prisoners believe these shadows are reality because they have never seen anything else. One prisoner breaks free. He turns toward the fire. He exits the cave and sees the real world for the first time. The light blinds him. The truth hurts. When he returns to tell the others what he has seen, they laugh at him. They resist him. They may even kill him. Plato's message is devastatingly clear. Most people live in illusion. Philosophy is not comfort. It is awakening, and awakening is painful. These ideas shaped Plato's politics as well. Plato never abandoned politics, but he no longer trusted democracy as rule by popularity. In the Republic, he argued that a just society could only be ruled by philosopher-kings, leaders who love truth more than power, wisdom more than wealth. He divided society into three parts: rulers guided by reason, guardians driven by courage, and producers motivated by desire. Justice, he believed, exists when each part performs its proper role in harmony. Democracy, to Plato, risked mob rule and emotional decision-making. Tyranny was rule by appetite. The execution of Socrates stood as permanent evidence of what happens when wisdom is subject to opinion. Plato's academy continued to grow. Aristotle studied there for nearly 20 years. But student and teacher would eventually part ways philosophically. Plato believed reality lay beyond the physical world. Aristotle believed reality began within it. Legend records Aristotle saying, "Plato is dear to me, but dearer still is truth." From their disagreement emerged two traditions that still shape human thought: idealism and empiricism. The tension between them has never disappeared. Plato lived into his early 80s, an extraordinary age for the ancient world. He taught and wrote until the end. He died peacefully around 348 BCE, likely within the academy he founded. No execution, no exile, no trial. Yet the shadow of his teacher never left him. Plato's influence is impossible to measure. He shaped Aristotle, Roman philosophy, Christian theology, Islamic scholarship, medieval Europe, and modern political theory. One philosopher would later write that all of Western philosophy is a series of footnotes to Plato. Through Plato, Socrates lived on. Through Plato, philosophy became a discipline rather than a moment. Through Plato, the question of reality itself was forever split. Socrates taught the world how to ask. Plato taught the world how to build. He took a man condemned for questioning and turned him into a foundation for civilization. And through Plato, an idea was born that still unsettles us today. Perhaps reality is deeper than what we see. Perhaps truth demands more than comfort. And perhaps the greatest danger to society is not ignorance, but wisdom that refuses to stay silent.